This video is to demonstrate the 6 trigonometric ratios. We usually label our triangles with A, B, C, where angle C is the right angle. The sides opposite those angles would be little a opposite angle A, and little b opposite angle B, and little c opposite angle C. Now, because we're calling these the angle opposite, that many times you'll see this side A is referred to as the opposite side for angle A. And for the side opposite angle B, which we call little b, we could call that the side that's adjacent or next to angle A. So that one a lot of times is referred to as the adjacent side for angle A. And then the side opposite angle C is the hypotenuse. So for reference, we'll call that the hypotenuse. And then to abbreviate those, just for convenience, we could call the opposite side O, the adjacent side A, and the hypotenuse H. So when we look at our 6 trigonometric ratios, we need to abbreviate sine. So for the sine of angle A, we'll abbreviate SIN. It's still read sine of angle A. And the sine is always the opposite side divided by the hypotenuse, or we can abbreviate it O divided by H for opposite divided by the hypotenuse. The cosine, we could abbreviate COS, but we still read it cosine of angle A, and that would be the adjacent side over the hypotenuse, or using the abbreviations A over H. The tangent, which we abbreviate as TAN, and it's still read tangent of angle A, would be the opposite side over the adjacent side. The other 3 ratios are reciprocal ratios. The reciprocal for the sine is called the cosecant. And to abbreviate it, we could use CSC. And it's the reciprocal of the sine, which was the opposite over the hypotenuse. So we could call it the hypotenuse over the opposite. And for the secant, we'll abbreviate it SEC. It's the reciprocal function for the cosine, which would be the adjacent over the hypotenuse. So the reciprocal would be the hypotenuse over the adjacent. And for the cotangent, we abbreviate cotangent as COT. So the cotangent of angle A would be the reciprocal of the tangent, which would be the adjacent side over the opposite side. And these are our 6 trig ratios. We could also use angle B. If we wanted to find the sine of angle B, it would be side B over side C, but the side B is still opposite angle B, so the sine of angle B would be the opposite over the hypotenuse. So regardless of what our angle is called, we would still use the opposite side over the hypotenuse for sine, the adjacent side over the hypotenuse for cosine, the opposite over the adjacent for tangent, and so on. And there's some memory tricks that you can remember these rules. One of the popular ones is to use a mnemonic, which is Oscar for opposite, and then had for the hypotenuse or the H, A adjacent side, hold on Arthur. So the mnemonic Oscar had a hold on Arthur would be opposite over hypotenuse for sine, adjacent over hypotenuse for cosine, opposite over adjacent would give us the tangent. And there's other memory tricks as well. One popular version is to say that sine is opposite over hypotenuse, so you could call that SOH, and then cosine is equal to the adjacent over hypotenuse, so cosine adjacent hypotenuse, and then for tangent it would be equal to the opposite over the adjacent. So it looks like a Native American word, so we could call that Sokoto, or however you wanted to pronounce it, but a lot of people will remember it that way. So remember in Sokoto they can remember sine is the opposite over hypotenuse, cosine is the adjacent over hypotenuse, tangent is the opposite over the adjacent. Or you can remember Oscar had a hold on Arthur, sine would be opposite over hypotenuse, cosine would be adjacent over hypotenuse,